Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, space fans. Thank you so much for dropping by for another wonderful, exciting session for the Lifeless Planet. Beard Goblin, wonderful to see you. I'm so glad you got yourself some Sainsbury's donuts yesterday. I do remember them, covered with sugar. They're like Sainsbury's is a supermarket in the UK, big supermarket chain. And they make their own donuts in the in-house bakery. And those donuts are much, much cheaper than you'd get like the Krispy Kremes, which cost like the equivalent of literally £1.50 in the UK, which is like $2.50 in US money, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, well done on that. You got to treat yourself every once in a while. So I'm glad you did that. And welcome, Mom, Star Mom from outer space. Very nice to see you. Mr. Chris, very good to see you. And of course, Mr. Zero Calvin is here. So nice that you could all make it. Speaking of Chris, I'm going to give you a quick shout out actually, because I believe Chris should sort that out. Chris streams 3D development on Twitch if you happen to be into that. So he deals a lot with Blender and a bit with Illustrator, and Chris knows all the tips and tricks. A very nice community to hang out. So if you are so inclined, drop by Chris's Twitch stream, which is happening almost every day, isn't it? Very, very cool. So awesome to see you again. Very nice. I have a little announcement here before we get going with our exploration of the rocky wilderness and where it'll take us next. Super exciting news. I've been narrating one of Brian's audiobooks. I have been narrating his other audiobook, which was, he has like, how many books have you got, Brian? Is it like 5, 6, 7? I've lost count. And I had the pleasure to narrate 2 of them. One was Flicker World, which has come out a while ago, and for the last 6 months or so we've been collaborating in narrating the What the Luck book, which is another humorous sci-fi novel, kind of a travelogue sci-fi novel with with kind of otherworldly elements in there. Very, very exciting. 5 books, 1 short story. There we go, Mr. Stompy, available on your channel, of course. And super exciting news, What the Luck has just been approved by the powers that be, and is now available on Audible and Amazon, and will shortly follow iTunes release. And Brian has been rendering a little trailer here, and I thought I'm going to show you that. It is with his permission, of course. It's a wonderful little thing on my community tab. You get a little link on that, and this is, I believe, that link. There it is. Let's go and make sure we unmute that, watch it from the beginning and in full screen. Come on, let's see if this works. So this is rendered in iClone, and I've narrated it. Let's see. Bill Brabham, a recently divorced and unemployed financial manager from Texas. There's a little echo thing going here. Let me just go get rid of that. There's always some technical thing. I forgot to close that program. There we go. Let's try it again. Here we go. Bill Brabham, a recently divorced and unemployed financial manager from Texas, is a man down on his luck. With nothing left to lose except possibly a few years of his life, he takes a high-risk, high-reward job cleaning up at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. While in Japan, his luck drastically changes and everything starts to go right for him. Unfortunately, his newfound luck seems to be coming at the expense of those around him. His investigation into this phenomenon puts him in the middle of a dangerous criminal conspiracy where he must contend with everything from the Yakuza to a sassy teenage girl with a penchant for role-playing. Very cool. And these are all pictures that Brian actually took on his trip to Japan when he was doing research. So all these pictures will make sense as you read or listen to the book. It's kind of it's a really interesting story. It's not hard sci-fi. It's kind of, there are soft sci-fi elements in it, and I tremendously enjoyed it. It was a great experience collaborating with you again on this, Brian. I really enjoyed it, and I wish you all the best of luck with it. If you have any questions for Brian, he's in the chat. If you want to know how he animated this whole thing, he's your man. And I will give you a shout out in the chat as well as soon as this thing comes back. Fingers. Luck, a novel by Brian Kramer, now available as an audiobook, narrated by Javers Lewis. Get yours today on Audible, Amazon, or iTunes. There we go. Congrats, Brian. This was exciting. Now it's available. It'll take another, I think about a couple of weeks or so until it'll be available on iTunes. But yes, that is what we've been doing behind the scenes. And you can follow Brian's development actually on what he does in regards to animation on his Patreon channel. Let me just go give you a shout out here. !Brian. Oh, come on. MacBook isn't. There we go. No, not double exclamation mark, single exclamation mark. There we go. That's it. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm really glad that you liked it. It's awesome to see it finally be released into the wild. And I remember that one of your readers has actually left a really nice comment about my voice and the way I've narrated What the Luck. That was very nice to hear. So yeah, go and buy the book. It's great. It's awesome. There's a free sample available as well. I'll put that on my website as well. A little sample, 5-minute sample that you get a little idea of what the book's about. And I believe the first chapter or so is free on Kindle at least, so you get a little reading impression there. There we go. That is that. Unbelievable. Super exciting when projects come together and when they're released and when they're coming out. I always feel very, very good about this. So, so it's like that with any project. Doesn't matter if it's an animation or if you've written something or if you put a game together or whatnot. It's it's always like that. There comes a point where things are being released, and that's just that's really nice. Let's have a look what we can do today with the Lifeless Planet. Oh, I had a look at the a short hike yesterday just to see if that's a streamable alternative coming up shortly on this channel, of course. And it is. Sounds like a really, really cute title, A Short Hike. So probably not the next game. I think the next we might do is Super Hot. I don't know if you've heard of that, but yeah. After Lifeless Planet is finished, I've got plans to play Super Hot. Unless, of course, that changes. I'll see. But for now, there's so much more to do in Lifeless Planet. See if my controller wants to work today. There we go. Yes, it does. All right. Resume where we left off. So yesterday we came to this giant crater thing. We followed the Russian woman. She's helped us through some difficult passages. Then we came to this... then she had to have a rest. We had to carry her up somewhere, and now we're somewhere at a massive giant crater. Oh, looks like we have to play this quick bit again. That's not a problem. That was just the approach here towards the crater. That's actually quite nice. Gives us a bit of an introduction into where we are and stuff. Oh my goodness, the coloring book. Yes, that was just released as well. Very good point, Brian. Brian's made, so this is kind of a tie-in with What the Luck. So What the Luck is essentially about an American guy from Texas. He falls onto a bit of hard times and he asks himself, hey, why is it that I'm having so much bad luck? I mean, it's fair enough if I have, sometimes I have good luck, sometimes I have bad luck, but, it should really even out. And he's observed that isn't actually quite the case. He's been having so much bad luck that he thought maybe there is something to all this superstition that some people have more good luck than others, and maybe this can somehow be influenced, and I don't know, it's just something he's thinking about. So in order to make some money and escape his past life, he takes on a job in Japan, fairly dangerous, but a month's worth of work pays him as much as a whole year's worth of work in America, because it's so dangerous, cleaning up nuclear waste and all that. It's not something you do every day. And then all of a sudden he finds that he's super lucky all the time, and he's thinking, hey, I mean, that is, on one hand, that's great, but why is that happening? I mean, why am I having so much bad luck and then all of a sudden so much good luck? And he meets very interesting people along his way. And so it's an unbelievable story what happens to the man. And one of the things that he has contact with is Yakuza, lots and lots of Yakuza people. And it turns out that they're of course covered in tattoos. And one of his colleagues, I guess, that he meets is a young Japanese girl who mentions that she, as a kid, has had a Yakuza, Heroes of the Yakuza coloring book. Because Yakuza, they're not just pure evil, they're also really, really good, and they can help, certain people. And it's kind of weird to look at it that way. So she had a coloring book to heroify these people, not as villains, but as kind of as heroes. So it's a very interesting twist. And we were joking around, Brian and I, and he said, you know what, maybe I will actually make that happen. Maybe I will create a Heroes of the Yakuza coloring book. And he's made it happen. So that is a tie-in for What the Luck. So that is now available in print on Amazon. You get to see that on Brian's website as well. Yes, that was a very funny idea. So let's have a look into the crater. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. There was this little house as well. Thought as long as we can walk back up, we can have a quick look inside the crater. There's something right in the center of it. Don't know why it has to be so far away. I don't know if I'll be able to go up here. I think I can. Let's have a look inside that giant crater. Yeah, sadly I can't narrate that audiobook. That Heroes of the Yakuza coloring book. Ah, there we go. So they did good things. They're businessmen at the end of the day, aren't they? And citizens. Do you know, I was going to suggest actually, if it's at all possible technically, to release the coloring book also on Kindle or as a PDF, because Julia had great fun using that, not with regular pencils, but with an iPad app and with the Apple Pencil, and you can color things in on the iPad. And I'm thinking, since we're in such an electronic age, many other people might be inclined to do that as well, rather than draw on paper, or at least, you know, then you have another option. I don't know if that's possible, but hey, just something I thought. Then people can take a screenshot, import it into their drawing app, and then color in the Yakuza heroes. Oh, that's a good idea. Excellent. Excellent. Welcome to coffee. We speak Russian again. Initial analysis of meteor indicates non-typical of terrestrial meteors. Upon further investigation, the meteor appears to be part of a highly engineered vehicle. Really? Our current theory is that this crater was the landing site for the advanced race that built the portals and related power structures. We've set up a research outpost on the rim of the crater, and we plan to study the site at least through next winter. That's what this is. So this is not a natural crater as such. That's interesting. And then the thing at the top would have been a study site. Very cool. I thought I saw something here. I don't think there's anything else down here in the crater. It's just wonderful to look at this huge landscape here. And I believe there's one white strip. I've spent quite a lot of time exploring the crater, not being really able to make head or tails of what I was supposed to do. And there's a puzzle at the top that we need to figure out. This is a nice effect here, by the way. This from a light source into... When you point the camera towards a light source, these little aberrations here, I always like that. So this here, I think we're going to follow this because there's a little white streak here, and there's something else over there. I'll have a look at that. Coffee. I'm glad you got it, Brian. That is very nice. I'm very, very happy with coffee. I did this just to clarify this. I was going to make a Patreon post as well, and I still will do that for those who are supporting me on Patreon. There is, I was asked, do you plan on abandoning Patreon? And that's not my intention. I'm thinking of keeping them both going. It's just that there's some features in Patreon that are missing that other services can provide, such as Ko-fi. So like one-off donations, Patreon doesn't support that. There's also the thing about Patreon had a bit of a bad press recently, and some of my supporters were kind of concerned where Patreon is going, and I totally appreciate that as well. And it might be the more bad press you have, even if there is no bad publicity, it's one of those things. It's nice to have a backup option, and that is what Ko-fi is for me. And I hadn't anticipated them to be quite that good, because they have this a very slim, lean interface. It looks very pretty, looks very beautiful. And you can make anonymous donations as well. That is also not possible on Patreon. So one-off donations, anonymous donations. You can sell things through Ko-fi as a little shop thing. You can also have monthly ongoing donations. You can accept things other than PayPal, debit cards and credit cards. So, you know, I thought that was a nice backup provider. So that's what that is for me. And I would imagine that's the same for you, Brian, because you're also on Patreon and on Ko-fi. So I think, you know, maybe that's a good way to do this. Oh my goodness, the director. Another report from the director. I'm not likely to see another day. The wounds I carry are a constant reminder of the pain we have inflicted on this planet. Our original purposes here were pure and good. But maybe that is the curse of a species far from home. We cannot adapt, so we destroy. Instead of cultivating, we upset the natural order of the new world. It has always been this way and always will be such. And there is the arrogance to think it should be any different for our generation. I am sorry, Elita. I did not see until it was too late. If my name is ever again called to mind, I hope it will be as a lesson for those who came after me. Do svidaniya. I guess that means goodbye. So the director, Elita. Oh. Button. It's powered. It's doing something. Okay. I'm glad we pressed that. I forgot that we had to actually press that. So there we go. Mr. House! Top of the afternoon to you. Welcome to that giant crater. Oh, okay. Oh, there's something at the top, isn't there? Right. Oh, I see. See, this is... I didn't realize what that was until just now. It's good to play these games once or twice and then you make these connections. So I'll tell you more about that when we reach this. We can reach this thing from the top. So we'll go back to the top, investigate the house, then we get to that. Because that is a puzzle I couldn't quite figure out when I played this game for the first time. And I'll tell you why. Probably because I didn't look down and saw the power button that I've just pressed. I remember last time I just happened upon this after an hour's worth of a search. Here's the house. Let's go back up there. So, Mr. House, we've just found out that this giant crater that we're in right now, the Russians were investigating this, and they found out that it didn't appear to be a crater caused by a meteor or a meteorite. It is more a crater that's probably served as a landing site for the alien race that was here before us, or before them rather. And so they were studying this for about a year. We've just pressed a magical button at the very end of the crater. We've also heard a confession of the director of this whole space program. He's referencing somebody called Elita. That might well be our Russian woman. I don't think we have a name for her yet. I think it might be Elita. There. Back upstairs. So the button we pressed is kind of deep down in that ridge, and there is a little thing that takes us across about kind of where I'm looking at right now. And that lift, I believe, needed to be activated with the button I've just pressed. Another director's report, probably the one from before we read the one that we just read now. I thought I found a survivor today. A hand reached up from the dirt, yearning for help. When I rushed toward the charred, dying flesh, it struck me deeply in my abdomen. It was a horrible remnant of our interventions, somehow still alive. The native life sought its revenge on me, and soon it will be victorious. So I guess that's the reason why he's dying. I'm responsible for this madness. We did not belong here. The planet did not deserve this. The distant worlds are kept from our reach because we have not yet earned the right to be here. And somehow I fear that when the time comes, man will seek these treasures in the heavens not because of wonder. He will do so because he has destroyed his original nest. We are fools! Poor guy. Whoops. No, don't do that. Probably a recording of him that we can see up here. Can we? Well, there we go. Much to our dismay, as he's saying, the ecological impact of our exploitation of the green fire was vicious. The plant life receded rapidly. We theorized that the moss was the primary source of food for all the life on this planet. Unfortunately for our civilization here, the decrease in moss not only meant the decrease in power, but also a decrease in oxygen. Human and plant alike began to die. As luck would have it, though, one of the doctors noticed an oddity in town. One of our assistants, Elita, was keeping a garden, and it was thriving. We attempted to discover its secret, but Elita was strangely defensive. Apparently, her child had died in the early stages of the oxygen shortage. Elita's refusal to cooperate and share her secret forced our hand. Soldiers came threatening to burn the garden, but when Elita moved to protect her plant, they grew stronger. Her touch made them react, brought them to life. Regarding them as a tool, Elita was taken, imprisoned, and forced to undergo terrible experiments. We severely altered her on a genetic level by injecting an abundance of native DNA into her body from preserved moss cultures. While she roared in pain and protest, we took her humanity away on a molecular level. Elita was more of a plant than a human when we were finished. Her eyes took on a brilliant green color and her lungs filled with CO2. But it was a success. Her footsteps invigorated the ground in her wake with small sprouts of life. The moss responded to her touch, rising up from the dust. I do not expect Elita to forgive us, but she is the only hope to restore the balance of life on this world. Without Elita, this planet will remain in decay for the rest of time. Wow. A lot of information here. A lot of information. Director killed by a plant, slowly left to bleed out. Russian woman who leaves green footsteps is in fact Elita, who the Russians have been experimenting on, and I suppose she's already run ahead because this is where she was taking a rest. And she is in fact half plant, half human. Half Russian, half plant. Interesting. So wow. Deep story. And the green footsteps are actually here because she is restoring life to the planet, if I understand this correctly. And that's also how she can cooperate with the plants and tell them to let off when they're about to strangle us. Very interesting. Very interesting story. And she's already waiting by the bridge here. That's cool. So this here, I spent a great deal of time when this lift was on the other side to try to make that come over here. And what I did not do, I guess, is look down here in the crater. Actually, I can't see anything in the crater because at the bottom there's that button that we've just pressed, and I never made the connection that is just above here. So I think there would have been a nice clue had we been able to see that there's something down there, like a house or whatever. She is springtime. That is right, Brian. Oh, we have a handy button here. Let's do this. Elita, nice to meet you. That's why she looks maybe so breathing, heavy breathing. Gotcha. Elita. Maybe she's still wearing her hospital uniform. That's why she looks the way she looks. Now we know. So yes, a lot of information that we've just taken in. And knowing that, let's see how the adventure continues. Shall we go? Elita? I'm Bill Brabham, by the way, from Texas. Shall we go? Okay, I'm gonna go. And I don't know. Do you want to come with us? Are we on our own now, Elita? There we go. Perfect. Just wondering. I mean, I don't know where to go. Maybe you know where to go. Green platform. Alita Green. There we go. Perfect. She already has a last name. Certainly has a green thumb. Proverbially green feet. Oh, look at that. This looks similar to the blood-stained portal that we found in that big house. And there's more donuts. Donuts is definitely a theme in this game, isn't it? Come on. Oh yeah, okay, so you're taking a rest here. Looks like she's still out of breath. If that breathing is anything to go by. Tell you what, you rest here, Alita, while we venture down, since we still have our super backpack, super jetpack. Let's make the most of it. See what's up with the other donuts here. That the Russians have also put some scaffolding around. Nice one. Okay. Do you know, I've watched a video yesterday about how to replace the thumbsticks on my old Xbox 360 controller. This is the one I'm using. This is kind of my favorite controller. And it's a known phenomenon that the thumbsticks here are decaying over time. So they are kind of getting slimy and I guess disintegrate and all that. And apparently you can just replace them. And I've watched a video by Matt KC yesterday, and that was very nice. You can get them in different colors and all. Very cool. So I might do that because I keep slipping off the things. I've got a second controller, brand new in a box, by the way, worth tons of money.
The Russians were studying these alien structures. What were they looking for?
What were they looking for, dude? Probably a way home, I would imagine. You know, that is what I would be looking for if I know that the world I'm living on is in decay. And there's another world I could potentially go back to. I'd probably look for a way out here. But hey, that's okay. You're oxygen deprived and sleep deprived. That's cool. You might not be able to think properly. I totally forgive you. So yes, that's what I'm looking into right now. Replacing the thumbsticks, because they emanate some kind of a squidgy stuff, and it means I slide off them every once in a while. Too much information. It looks like the Russians were studying the work of the portal creators, the network of monoliths, huge power structures, and the number of walls and doors surrounding them. I still can't figure out how it all connects. Not yet, anyway. That is huge. At the top there we have a platform. Got a donut in the sand here. And there's another donut over there. Doesn't look like we can walk up here. And even with our mega backpack, I think that'll be too high. Ow. That's not good if you go as far high up in the air as you can and then jump down again. That's nearly kills you. And there's kind of a red light at the top there as well. That's interesting. Green shimmer somewhere here. I don't think Alita's been here, so that must be something else. This must be perhaps a small glimmer of life as we knew it on this planet. Ah, that looks like we should put another green thingamajig in here. See if we can find some. Yeah, because I don't think there's anything in here right now. No. It looks like that's kind of the thing at the bottom that we need to put things in, and then we pick it up from here. Put that in here. Okay. Must find green blobs and power the thing. See if we can make that happen. Was that on the top here? Is that a boulder? Yes, look at that. Ah, lucky us. Yeah, follow the green. See what that does. Hiya! Perfect. It's cleverly done that there's this little fade out and fade in again just when you press the button for the robotic gadget, because I suppose for the animation to work properly, the character has to be in a specific position, I would imagine. It's a clever way of solving that problem. Here goes nothing. Anything happened yet? Not to this. Perhaps we'll go back and see how Alita's doing. Maybe something's happened on the platform. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's find out. Alita, how you doing? I can't remember now. Did this start glowing as she was on it already? Did she make that glow or did we make that glow? I don't recall. I don't recall this glowing last time she sat in the middle of it. Maybe there's the second power thing that we need to do something with. Nothing obvious in this part of the crater here. Maybe in the next section where the other donut is, we may be able to get up there. Ow. Let's see. It is kind of fun just walking around in a scene like this. It's a very nice way of exploring the whole world, taking all the whole world in. The Beard Goblin, there is a product on the Unreal Marketplace. It's expensive, but if ever you're thinking of building worlds like this, more like a Skyrim type world filled with trees and all that, there is a thing, I've forgotten the title of course, but it's a procedural landscape generator. And I picked up a product by that developer that was on sale the other day. That was an epic kind of mega sale. And it generates shaders for a landscape like that from a height map, and it can be as large as you want it to be. You can draw roads in and trees and all kinds of other things, and the app kind of takes care, or the shader takes care of then placing the correct objects in your scene. I've totally forgotten what it's called. Or the developer. Yeah, maybe we can walk up here. Come on. That makes sense. Walk towards where the red light is. Is that a good idea? I can't tell. Don't want to slip off here. Gangster YouTube is currently spamming the channel. Thank you for taking care of that, Brian. Gangster, I'm not going to promote your YouTube channel, sorry. If you give me money or not. It's not how it works. But thank you for the offer. Sometimes I get really weird offers through all kinds of services, like not just spam, they're kind of serious offers. And somebody was offering me Carrara rendering, which I thought that's half interesting, but it was also kind of random. So he was basically saying that if I had a large scene to render, he could offer me a CPU the equivalent of like 500 gigahertz or whatnot, and I thought, well, that's nice. Unfortunately, I don't render much in Carrara anymore. And thank you for the time out there, Brian. I appreciate that. Nothing quite obvious here. Yeah, if I remember the name of that product, I'll totally do that, because it's one of those that I thought I think it's $120, but on sale it was 60 or 50 or something, and I thought, my goodness, that is just so cool. And it's one of those things where I filled up my, oh, here we go, another power thing maybe. When I filled up my shopping cart, there was about $600 worth of products in there, and I was thinking, that's a little bit too much, I'm not going to buy that much. And so I bought this one product of his, which is also quite tremendous. This is something that you can build landscapes like this with. That's not procedural, but very exciting. So I bought that, and I had a lot of fun with that. I built an animation of that on my 3D Shenanigans channel. You can see that. I think there's a link to that product in there, and it's by the same developer. Let's pop that in here. Oh, button comes out. Good stuff. Crazy noises come out too. So we've certainly powered up something. The button, maybe the button was on the other side of this thing. Was that here? I don't know how well Unreal Engine copes with exports, actually. I've never looked into that. It's a kind of an interesting thought. Oh, there it is. Button over there. I think everyone's trying to put things into Unreal Engine. I don't think anyone... I'm not sure how that mechanism works, that you can take things out of it. That's a good question. Let's press that, shall we? Is that good? Maybe the outer thing. Oh, I see, the outer things are also buttons. Gotcha. So the inner thing for sure. The bottom one as well. And... is that good? Did we do that? That seems to have done something. Oops. Oh wow, look at the giant donut float up in the air. Whoa, man. And it's turning. It's like a mini halo. Ooh, that is exciting. And there's some green light shining through the donut now. In fact, all the way onto the other side. That is curious. Oh wow, actually this is a much larger thing than I had anticipated. Let me step back a little bit and have a look at this. Ooh. So these two structures are actually connected, and... look at her go! That green ring of power is what makes the donut hover. Almost like an electromagnet that hovers in the thing. And more importantly, the green thing is a light bridge, I guess. Ooh. Sometimes if you fiddle at such a large scale, you gotta step back to understand what you've just done. I think Halo had that as well. You could extend light bridges. I mean, Elita was hovering. She wasn't exactly walking, so I don't know if that's... Is this stable? I can't tell. Oh. Waffles, yes. Yep, seems to work. Do you know, about the tiles, I've recently watched a a video by one of the Fortnite developers. That was very interesting. It was about 20 to 26 minutes long, and it was kind of just interesting to see what challenges they're dealing with in building Fortnite, because it's a very complex game, and really, if we're super honest, it is just a test bed for the Unreal Engine, really. It happens to be successful and make money, and that's a nice side benefit, but really for the Unreal guys, Fortnite is basically a thing that allows them to play with Unreal Engine and test what other features they might want to put in. That's really why Fortnite exists. It's kind of a mutual benefit thing, I guess. And in it, he was talking about tiles and the world, and how the world map looks, and how they create shaders in that map. If I find it again, I'll put it on my YouTube community tab or on Twitter, on both perhaps, because that he was explaining that principle. So it's interesting to listen to that just for the principle of what's going on under the hood. And he was talking about features that are coming out in Unreal Engine 4.26, things that let water shaders be animated differently and fairly small. So one thing that struck me about it is that they do indeed divide the whole the player world into grids, but it's all one geometry, and it's not divided into they are not smaller tiles, so it's all one massive tile, and it has all the geometry and all the shader information in it, which is quite remarkable. So they put the whole shader information for the snow-capped mountains, as well as the water and the grass and all that. That's all inside one thing, and it's not actually that big. I think it was it 500-600 megabytes altogether, which I thought was quite tremendous. I'll dig that video out. That was nice. It was something about Unreal Dev Days. You may find it there. I don't remember the exact title of it, but I thought it was very inspiring, and it gives you a little bit of an insight into that. Maybe there's useful information in there. I guess another donut and another light bridge we may have to extend. See if we can make that happen. See if we can find a safe way down. Yeah, perhaps here. You stay here, Alita. We've read what you've been through. That was not nice. That was not nice. Yes, something about the Unreal Dev Days, and I suppose it was like a conference that this year couldn't be held in person. So I suppose all the people who would have made presentations made them on YouTube. I even forgot the developer's name. Some interesting stuff in there. What he was talking about, how they're developing Unreal Engine with what tools, and so yes, the water dynamics. They were very interesting to hear, and I think he may have also mentioned. Did he mention something like? Yeah, maybe that wasn't him. About hair dynamics. There's a new hair dynamics way of doing things. So currently, there's kind of an older way that we've all seen before when you add cloth dynamics to hair, so that hair and clothing kind of wafts around, and it kind of works good on clothing and capes and all that, but it doesn't work so well on hair. And apparently there's a new thing that they've implemented in Unreal Engine 4.24. I don't know much about it yet, but that is something I'd like to explore as well. She's Alita tired now, yes. Alita sounds like a coffee product. For some reason I'm associating that with coffee. This looks like we could do something with it. I'm not sure what yet, because I don't think anything is movable yet. Or is it? Am I just not pushing hard enough? No. I have a feeling this is not quite activated yet. But this is definitely something. Well, let's keep that in mind for when we come back here. If this thing has a button on the outside, maybe then on the other side of that we can find other things to fiddle with. Follow the green, that's a good indication of where we may want to do other things. whatever the other things might be. Huh. Nothing here. Maybe it's actually enough to just press these buttons here. Should have tried that while I was there. It's always a good look to... It's a good idea to have a look at the whole picture, I guess. Now, do we remember the previous combination? It was something... It's probably a different one. Something to do with... okay, it was not the bottom button. Or that. It was this button. How about the middle button? And the middle button, and maybe the top one? No, not the top one. So it was this one, and that one, and that one. Oh, okay, and the bottom button. Bottom. Whoop, okay, oh. I should leave. 2 half donuts. Oh. It's the cut donut. And it steams. Huh. Maybe that has now activated that puzzle at the top of the mountain here. Maybe. It looks kind of creepy, doesn't it? I mean, if by the touch of my robotic arm gadget I make large structures like that move, that is always... Oh, look at that! Things are green and things are hovering now, and everything's a bit more illuminated too. Thank you for the light source. That is nice. Let's ponder over this. Yes, how do people do that? Yes. I move these things. Perhaps then, and I mean I'm just guessing here, but maybe the outside 2 things that look like a French brie cut in half, maybe they represent our 2 halves of the donut behind us, the hovering donut. And we somehow must make sure to move all these black blocks in the middle out so that the 2 donuts can kind of look at each other, or can be pushed together, something like that. So this one's longer, these guys are shorter. So when we could push this guy out of the way, easy. But then what? This here? It's like eating M&Ms with a spoon, isn't it? Or eating a Snickers bar with a knife and fork. Who would do such a thing? Can you go into here? Is that something we can do? Ah, yes, good stuff. That could happen. That then. Oh, I see. Maybe this here. That might have to go in here because it's kind of the longer of the 2 things. Push you over here for a second, and then you go over here, and then maybe this guy could go all the way into here. Is that something we can? No, don't do that. You put that here. Good thing these things hover, or they weigh nothing. It depends on the gravity on this planet. I think gravity is kind of similar to Earth here, because or maybe slightly less. I don't know. Maybe it's slightly less than on Earth. Just given how much I can jump here. M&Ms with the spoon, yes. I think that was a joke in Seinfeld once. It somehow a craze started and people were doing all kinds of weird things. M&M's with a spoon and a Mars bar with a knife and fork. Hey Brian, did you know, and anyone in the US, did you know that Mars bars in the UK are different than the ones in the US? It's a dark, dark secret that the Mars people don't want you to know. And that is that we have a bar in Europe that's called Milky Way. That is like, how did that work again? Our Mars bar is like your Milky Way bar here. And you guys don't even have the Mars bar. I think the Milky Way bar in the US, that's what's called Milky Way in the US, is like a Mars bar in the UK and in Europe. So the thing is that this is this fluffy stuff at the bottom and caramel on the top, so like really gooey stuff enrobed in chocolate. That is what we in Europe call a Mars bar. It usually has a dark, kind of a black wrapper and a red Mars writing, and the same thing is called Milky Way over here. But Milky Way in Europe is something that that's usually slightly smaller, and it emits the caramelly goo at the top, and it just has the fluffy stuff from the bottom of a US Milky Way bar without the caramel. That's the Milky Way bar in the UK and Europe. Fun fact. Yeah, so there's different levels of indulgence there. And I don't really know why, because Mars is the company, and you'd think Mars is also the company over here, so you'd think they would have a cohesive worldwide thing. Also, fun fact, the Twix bar used to be called Raider at least in Germany. I don't know if it was called that in the UK. I think it was kind of a half European, half UK thing. I don't remember that. And another fun fact, Snickers bars used to be called, and this is UK only, they used to be called marathon bars in the UK, until they realized it cost us too much money in marketing to maintain both brands. I'm just saying, make it frickin' one brand, man. Okay, right, then Raider may have been Germany and Holland. That is possible. Which was super confusing, because the slogan in the advertisings were Raider, the takeaway snack for longer lasting enjoyment. Which is ridiculous, because why would you give us an American or English sounding slogan thinking this is probably originating in America somewhere, where the brand name Raider was never there? You go, what? That's bizarre. Give it a German slogan if you want. Then at least we know, hey, that sounds terribly German. And we know it's something that's made up. So I can't move this thing. I'm just wondering, how am I going to get these two outer halves together? Which I wonder if that is actually the thing we need to make happen here. I'm thinking I may have to slot one of the black things into. Ah, right. I can move this thing. I can move this white thing here, but I can't move this white thing. That's kind of on its own little pedestal here. It's unmovable. So I wonder then if we go and move... Can we move this thing over somehow? Just this? There we go. If we move this somehow over so that... that... How are we going to do all this? How are we going to do that? Yeah, you see, I think what we may have to do is we may have to push this guy, the longer thing, out over here and back for now. Just for a moment, so that we can go and slide this guy into the little thing here. Raider the takeaway snack. Take a break snack, that was it. Raider the take a break snack. For longer lasting enjoyment. Fact. We have one longer black thing, And yes, this is as long as this. And then we have the shorter 3 black things which slot into these things. I'm thinking I'll just push this guy back to here. Now I can, with all my might, slide this thing over here. This is the only long gap that allows me to put this guy in here. And then, maybe, once again, with all my might, for longer lasting enjoyment, I'll put these things together. Ow! Look at it go! Bzzzt. That was successful! And that certainly extends our other bridge. Woohoo! Just to jump off the mountain and die, that is not good. What was I thinking? I have to do it again. No, I don't. Thank you, David. Very, very nice. I will now not jump down here again, or if I do, I will fire my jetpack before I land. There. Sorry about that. Did not mean to die there. Yeah, mind the massive gap of... Mind the 20-foot drop. You may not survive. Is Alita already rushing ahead, or is she waiting for us at the top there? Sometimes she's a bit slow, sometimes she likes to rush ahead. She's her own person, you know? Alita, wait for us. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. See if we can catch her up. See how far this thing actually extends. Maybe all the way home. I wonder then what this has to do with the actual portal that we've seen. If the portal is somehow connected to all this, or if it's the kind of a similar technology. If we're essentially doing the same as what the Russians were doing, it's all, you know... Alita unpredictable. Does Alita mean anything? Hack it into Google Translate and see if it comes up with something. Maybe it means green thumb. Now this donut appears to be kind of in the path, but it's buried in the sand also. Ah, tape recorder. Our scientists have made an amazing discovery today. We had previously believed the portal creators had abandoned this planet or had been killed by the root creatures. But we were wrong. The portal creators are merely an advanced form of the plant-like species that covers the planet. They must have colonized this world eons ago, bringing with them a variety of sister species to seed the planet and make it habitable. Oh my goodness, that's how it works! Actually, we believe the planet's species are less an ecosystem of individuals and more like a dense global network. To be sure, there are some larger and some smaller species, but all seem to be able to communicate through the ubiquitous moss, the green fire that is so vital to life on the planet. Considering all this and how the roots can also mimic endless forms, we are clearly in the presence of a superior and extraordinary form of life. That's how it works. Oh my god. Let's see if we can walk over here without falling off. Alita! Russian pronounced Alita. Oh, I kind of got it right there. Also known as Alita, Queen of Mars, is a silent science fiction film directed by Soviet filmmaker Yakov Protazonov. I see. That might well be an homage to that. From 1924. Oh, right, look at that. Very cool. We should watch this afterwards. I'm sure it's available That's like over 100 years ago. Well, nearly 100 years ago. Copyright expires after 75 years. Let's watch it as a watch party. Alita's tired now. Shall I carry you again, sweetie? No? Well, I'm gonna go ahead, looking back at all the donut world here. That's a nice screenshot, actually. That would be a good feature. I don't know if this game has it. Screenshots. Bye, Alita. Well, okay. You are low on oxygen. Find an oxygen supply before you pass out. Over there. Alita, I must go refresh myself here. At the little refreshments bar. Oh my god, there's nothing for miles now. That's crazy. Oh my god, come on. You can make it.
My wife, after searching for several days, she had fallen off some rocks while hiking and was lying unconscious in the woods near our house. I'll never forget. She was covered in leaves and there was moss or something beginning to grow on her toes. I thought of that a few years ago and it made me realize how temporary our lives are. Sooner or later, we have to let go.
Interesting secondary story here. I don't recall that. What's happened? Oh! No oxygen for you. Oh my. I didn't see that coming. Okay. This is nice. We should hang out here more often. Take off your helmet, see if it works. Oop. Error and signal, incoming feed. Why are you searching for me here? You know where I am. You left me behind years ago. You can't find me now. We're too far apart in distance and time. We're not in Kansas anymore, no. Huh. Brian, I like the idea. Why don't we just keep breathing into each other's mouths? And I exhale CO2, that's good for her. She exhales oxygen, that's good for me. At least if we were both together living in the same house, I mean, that should, even things out. If it doesn't work from mouth to mouth right away. Living in the same house, that should be good. No way! That's not just Alita with different clothes on, right? And less green. David, you gotta work on the character models, man. There are programs that give you better looking characters than these. Do we still have our super jetpack? We do. That is good. We don't want to say Dos Vidania just yet. No way! This is
Where are you?
I know. Where are we? Where are you? Where are we? That's interesting. No, don't do that. Oh my god, don't do that. Whew. Oh. Good reaction time there, my fingers. This is a tricky one. I mean, I'm inclined to jump over here. I could reach either of them. Maybe I'll go over here. I don't know. Which way should I go? That way or that way? We'll say this is the left, this is the right. Well, I'm taking votes here. I don't know where to go. This is kind of the way back. So yeah, this way, up and left, or down and right. What do you think? Oh, I can't make a decision. You think the right-hand one? Let's do that then. I think maybe... I'm thinking this seems to be the obvious choice, and so the only reason why I'm inclined to go left is that I'm thinking we're halfway in the air and the configuration of these stones might shift. Let's try both. We're trying right first. Oh, that seems to have worked fine. So we could also go back up and let's just experiment. We know that works. This should also work. I wonder if there's something, you know, like another clue or whatnot. Aha! Okay, that, there's nothing here, but I'm glad we tried it out. And this should be fine because it's further down. There we go. Perfect. So now we went both ways. I like it. That's where we came from, so let's go over here. As long as this doesn't shift around while I'm in the air. Oh my goodness, that's high up, isn't it?
Hold on, I'm coming!
Don't know if we can make it all the way up here. I doubt it. Don't think that is possible. Even though that is probably where his dead wife is. It's an interesting story. I forgot that he had a dead wife. Or that he had a wife that's dead. Hang on a minute. We've just been here, haven't we? Or was that just the same thing? Right. I'm confused. Where are we going? That's too high up. I don't think I can go there. That's too far away. I don't think I can go there either. I can go here. Could I have reached that? Possibly. Jay's lost again, I'm afraid. I can go over here, that's cool. This seems like an obvious choice as well. But it also seems to me as if we've been here already. So if the tallest thing, like this thing over here, that is probably where we need to be. Because that's where his dead wife is. But how are we going to get there? Or is this where we should go? Lost in dreamland, man. Or we just go back. That we can also do. Don't know if that's allowed though. We can certainly go spirally wise up over here. This thing's wiggling already. That's never good. Maybe we can go all this way with our super jetpack. Like from here, go over to here. And then that's something we can pick up. I wonder if we can actually just hover all this way over there. Do you think that's possible? It looks a bit too far, I'm thinking. What do you think? Shall we try it out? This way? Straight ahead? To my lower right now. Like there. Is that what you mean? Brian's all up for it. Because I have a feeling we've been here. We've just jumped up here, so I think we've been on this thing. Let's try it. Let's see how far that thing... Yeah, I think I've just been there, Beard Goblin. I've been here, and then I just went further to the right and then up here. I think that's where I've just been. But hey, here goes nothing. Come on. Aha! No! Nearly. Maybe this was meant to happen. I don't know yet. And we're back. Whew. Guess I forgot sometimes in games you kind of have to take a path that almost makes you die, but because it was kind of a vision anyway, it was all supposed to be like that. Something we often forget in life. Is my life the way it's supposed to be? Well, have you ever considered that the answer to that is yes? Everything is happening just the way it's supposed to. Alita, come on. Where, what? It's like night again. It's our gaming pattern, isn't it? We wake up, it's daylight, then the whole thing goes down into the night. And then as soon as it's day again, that's kind of another game day for us.
That's a lot of blood. I hope she's still alive.
Well, the green stuff is blood in his mind, right? The creature has the woman now, and she's clearly been injured. Really? Drops of the woman's blood glow bright green on the cavern floor. I hope she's still alive. But I can't imagine how I'll be able to help her if that monster is nearby. Who are you calling a monster? Don't call him a monster. And where are we? Let's just hope we still have our super jetpack. Yes. Looks like we do. Oh, we're in the abyss. Right, yes. It certainly looks like the abyss to me. And it's all dark and creepy. Oh, we have a light again. Mustn't forget my light, because there's enemies far ahead. Just sneaking past here. It's nothing to worry about. No one needs to be eaten today. Where are the donuts and the light bridges now when you need them, huh? Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. Hades. We could say we're lucky that she was bleeding, because otherwise how would we follow her trails? But yeah, I also hope that she is still alive. More donuts! Let's put more donuts together, man. Oh, and more Swiss cheeses here, also good. Alita! Stay with us, sweetie. We're coming. Right, so this is another one of these platforms, but it's not glowing, so it makes me wonder... what's happening here? That looks broken. And plant guy is over there, going like... It's a bit like what trees look like, isn't it? Trees are kind of fascinating things. Trees in the winter, if you do away with the leaves, and if you've ever seen trees that grow half out of a mountainside or out of a ditch, you'll notice that trees look the same at the top than they do at the bottom. So the roots look exactly the same as the branches. Just the branches look all pretty if there's all leaves on them, but really they're just like that's what trees are like, really, aren't they? Like that. And they grow super slow and we don't really see them wiggling, but really if we watch this with a slow-mo or with a high-speed camera, or slow-mo camera rather, this is exactly how they move. Ugh. I can't tell if it's good or not yet. Oh no! As her arms slowly turn into branches. Elita! Sweetie, come on. Don't turn too much into a plant, otherwise I won't be able to do anything for you anymore. Unless, of course, it's all part of a plan and everything is supposed to happen that way. I can't tell at this moment.
She saved my life. She saved the entire planet.
Do you think it was a sacrifice? The woman I've been following is gone. Well, no, she's still here, all around me, having given herself up to the monster to save this planet. She willingly shared her life, saving Cure at her own expense. I'd like to think she's more at home here, merged with this strange and beautiful ecosystem, than in the company of a lowly human being such as myself. Whatever the case, she saved my life, along with countless other beings on this planet. Ugh. Elita battery pack. So she is the one that, so her life energy is the one that makes the green stuff flow again, I guess. Is that right? And is that also the way we have to go? This is a neat effect, so a moving texture around this thing. It reminds me, Brian, of the experiments you've made in iClone. Apply a moving texture to an object. And it looks like we don't have a moving bump map here, but add that to the mix. That looks synchronous with the moving texture. And you have something that's like moving knobbles on this thing. I suppose it looks better far from afar. So if we look at this thing, this arch up ahead, that kind of where the texture is a bit more condensed than the bump map, that looks a bit better. I suppose now that I'm close up here. But very cool effect, my goodness. It's funny how all we creators, we have kind of the same ideas. Hey, I wonder what happens if we do that. And then this is a really neat effect. Also makes it very confusing as a player to know where to go next. Elita battery pack. I don't know why Elita reminds me of coffee. I can't say. Maybe it's Melita that I'm thinking of. Like the coffee filter people. That is one thing that we are missing in this game. Coffee every once in a while. Looks like this is not the way to go. Because, come on, where would we go? Might also not be quite possible to go up again. Or maybe over here. Ah, yes. I see. Is that too far? I don't know, I think that's too far. But we can't go further down. Unless it is down that we need to go. I can't tell. Ugh. Let's try down then, while we're here. Maybe down is where we're supposed to go. Unless it just turns out this is where we've just come from. I don't know. I guess there's no more green footsteps to guide us, huh? Green glowing fog isn't exactly a clue either. It is a clue of, hey, don't go there, I guess. That's the clue. This is deadly poisonous. What are you thinking, dude? That's kind of the clue I'm getting. But at the same time, what do we think an abyss looks like? This is a good good depiction of the abyss if I've ever seen one. Am I even supposed to be here? I still can't tell. This must be a bit of a nightmare for level designers. Often, if we were at a point in the game where we're not supposed to be, like at the very bottom of a level, this is usually where they kill you. So there's usually a trigger volume kind of halfway up here that if you should ever fall down and reach the ground, there's a way that they just kill you. No matter if it's too high or whatnot, you would just go say, well, that's not where you're not supposed to be there. Really, that's the message we're getting. And maybe I'm not supposed to be here either. I don't think I'm killed yet and I can go back up. I just don't exactly know. No, don't do that. Don't do it. Bill! Oh, what a shame. Bill Brabham died yet again. Okay, that sounds nice. We're here. Think we may have come from there. Have we? Or do we have to go there? Maybe we need to go there. I can't tell. Shall we try? Let's try it. I don't remember where we are. It all looks green to me. There's a little portal there. Maybe that's where we're supposed to go. Gently now. What do you think? Is this the way? That would be nice. Or is this how we got here in the first place? I can't get any higher here, so I'm thinking maybe... No, I can't. Can I? Yeah, I think this is how we got in. Yeah, don't think I can go up here. Okay, well, at least that solves that question then. This is how we got here. So, take two then. Go over the wiggly green things that have moving textures on them. I suppose then, like, general direction is kind of that way then, rather than down, perhaps. Whew, here we go again. Come on, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Oh, don't do it. Ouch. That's not good. Well, take three then. Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much. If we're here, that's nice. We need to go over here. General direction. The ledge with the ribs, yeah, like let's do that. And then also let's just make full use of the hover pack and just go try and hover all the way over here. That should be doable. If only there wasn't that creepy ledge here, like the gap. I'm not a big fan of gaps when it comes to landing somewhere. Could probably make it over here. I don't know if that's clever, because we won't be able to make it back. So there's also the other option. Let's just explore. Is there another way over here? No. That's the ledge. Come on, that's the way. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me every step of the way. Ha! Right on track again, I think. I'm glad you had help with the donuts. Donuts are much more fun in the company of friends. and family and total strangers. The last time I had a donut was a few months ago. It must have been around February. And I remember it because it was an unbelievable donut. They called them punch keys. And apparently that's a Polish thing. I had never heard of that, but it's kind of a European thing that while nowadays donuts are available all year round, that kind of dough fried, I suppose, is more like a Mardi Gras thing. So it kind of depends on which country you look at. But Mardi Gras, this kind of celebration, that is, according to the packet, is when the Polish guys do it. They don't call it Mardi Gras, but they have a special kind of donut that was only available at our supermarket. That was when I was still working. They had them available as a 4-pack, and they were slightly larger than regular donuts, and they looked so tasty. And there was like, I don't know, half a pound of jam in them, or kind of strawberry sauce or whatever. And they looked so nice that I thought I'm gonna have to buy myself a packet of that. And I shared it with my colleagues, and they were dripping with fresh, what's it called, with fresh icing, and they were half warm when I had them. So it was one was plenty. Yes, we had extremely sticky fingers that day. Not good when your main device for work is an iPhone. That was my last donut. Punch key. Absolutely delicious. And I think that was kind of my donut experience. I think much like you, I hadn't had a donut in months, and I thought maybe I should, and that was a good treat. And it's funny because it makes you appreciate the donuts much more than before. I cannot describe the amount of joy I got from that 2 minutes it took me to eat that donut. Publix punch keys. Only available for a short time. Well, I guess our task, should we choose to accept this, is jump on these green mountains and see if we can jetpack ourselves over that way. I have a feeling that is probably what we have to do. And then reach that ledge at the top there. See if we can reach that. With the last puffs of our jetpack. Yes. No, don't do it. Don't die. Oh, man. Dang, brother, that's cold. But once again, thank you, David, for not making me do that jump again. Let me try this jump. That is nice. I really like it. You've accomplished something in the game, and rather than the developers punishing you with having to go through that other annoying bit again, you go, no, actually, let's just be generous with the checkpoints. It's not about annoying the player, it's about the player having a good time. So very well thought out. It's often overlooked in game development. Naughty Dog, I'm looking at you. Satellite dish, yes. I like it. Left or right? I can't tell. They almost both look as far away as the other. This one to the right looks a little bit closer. Let's try that. It also has that little ledge here. I've watched a video yesterday by the modern vintage gamer Demetrius, who's not in Australia, even though he sounds like it. He is not. He's in the US, and he kind of has mentioned in passing, while he was talking about why did the PlayStation 1 look the way it did in regards to the texture wobble and things kind of popping into place and all that. He mentioned that there is a free shader, kind of call it shader, not a shader actually, it's a post-camera effect for Unity that is available as open source, I believe by dsoft20. That's the user. It makes your Unity output, like this output, look like it's a PlayStation 1 output. So it introduces all these imperfections and pixelations on the output of your render engine. That's a very interesting idea. And I believe A Short Hike has implemented something like that. I don't know if it's that particular thing, but it makes this whole thing, it kind of down-reses the resolution, pixelates everything on the output, and it makes this thing look like you're playing a PlayStation 1 game. That's a very, very cool thing. Yeah, I've made a note of that. I might share that as well on Twitter as soon as I'm done here, because that's a nice eye opener. I wonder if something like that is available for Unreal, and if not, how difficult it would be to make that. Interesting considerations, aren't they, Beard Goblin? What do you do in these things? There's so many cases to account for in games, especially if there's more NPCs that do the same thing. How do you react to any given situation? It is difficult, yeah, it is. As you're building a survival world, it would be nice to go back there with a different character. But at the same time, I suppose also that when you've been playing a survival game, you identify with this character rather than with another character. Tricky one.
So the other portal does lead back to Earth.
Oh, does it?
But hundreds of years in the future.
It what? Hang on a minute. Portal time? The portal to this planet was a one-way transport mechanism, as we discovered following our initial arrival. So, Earth to this planet, one-way thing. We originally assumed it would work like a doorway, that we could return through the same portal device at our convenience, but that was not the case. Thankfully, we eventually discovered the second portal, the departure portal leading back home. This two-portal system was actually very efficient for transport purposes, as we developed our settlements appropriately to regulate travel back and forth as necessary, so they could go back. Oh, I didn't know, that's good. But what we didn't comprehend at first was the lost time encountered through the portals. While transport happens quickly, time on Earth and on this planet are not in sync. We soon realized a week on this world was a month back on Earth. When the portals failed, this time disparity became great. When the arrival portal malfunctioned and killed so many people, we became afraid to use the departure portal to return to Earth. Over time, we started to see images we did not recognize on the other side. They were strange, towering structures, much more advanced than anything we'd ever seen before. Some believed the portal had recalibrated to the homeworld of the portal creators, but I knew the truth. The images in the portal were not of Earth. The images of the portal were of Earth, but centuries in the future. Oh, that's creepy. Unfortunately, we never tested our hypothesis, given the completely unstable power reactions from the portal. It was far more likely we would suffer a tragic transportation accident like our comrades from home attempting to reach us. There were no volunteers, and eventually no further opportunities before the portal went dark and cold. In retrospect, I wish we'd taken our chances. Oh! Earth person goes to this planet, is arriving here immediately, but time on Earth 1 week, time on Earth on this planet 1 month. So by the time you extrapolate that, 12 weeks is a year on this planet. So by the time you've spent 3 months Earth time waiting for this guy's already aged a year. That is kind of crazy. So a year is then 4 years and so forth. Oh my goodness. That is quite crazy. So if you spend 10 years here on the planet, it's basically 40 years on Earth have passed. That is a crazy, crazy thought. How would that even happen? I can see this travel-wise happening, that if you travel, from what we understand, with our pathetic human, puny humans' brains, that through an accelerated travel time kind of gets warped and all that. But just by being here, maybe this planet just travels faster, who knows? Yes, mine too! 1 week on Earth is a month here, but not for us. Oh! Gotta wrap my head around that. So that means even if we were to go back to Earth now, Earth will be like far advanced. I mean, I have no idea how long we've traveled here, how much time we've spent here. Noodle baked, absolutely. Huh. Also, we can't open that door. Much more important, immediate thing. There is this big satellite dish which we could do things with, but at the top of this tower, but can't open the door. Dang, brother. Noodle baked. That sums it up appropriately. Also, now that we've made it up to this structure here, where are we gonna go next? Ah, just follow the path. That does it. That does the trick. Oh my god, that's a creepy story development. 2 portals. One that gets you here, one that gets you back. But of course, back it gets you into the future. I also like that you don't have to step through the portal. You can just look through the portal and just look at the future. How does that work if you were to observe future through the portal? Would you see the future accelerated? Is it like you would be watching a video at 4 times the speed? Or something like that? And is that said portal over there? Oh my god, I'm scared. I don't want to look. I don't want to go back. Maybe I do want to go back. I can't tell. I'm confused. It will be like Futurama. That's exactly what it's like. Or, to mention another metaphor along the same lines, it'll be like Zero Calvin. Waking up how many years into the future? That's a few hundred. He didn't wake up thousands of years. He woke up a few hundred years. And everyone has casual bio-implants. Oh my god, there's another plant over there. Zero Calvin. I recommend it. Narrated by Jordan Gibbs. Very cool. Written by Brian Kramer, by the way. Very good. I've enjoyed both 0 Kelvin and 1 Kelvin. And my next one on the list is then 2 Kelvin. So it's almost like these plants, they're kind of towering left and right, and they're kind of saying, Bill, make your way back. Yes, it's nice. It's good writing style. It takes a little while to get into it, because it does also mess with your head. What would life be like for someone like us in the future? That's what it's like for 0 Kelvin. And it's also revealed why it's actually called 0 Kelvin. I hate to tell you this, but I have a terrible feeling that this game is going to end in a moment. So say goodbye to the Lifeless Planet as we know it, as we have a look at this massive portal and we see into the future. We will be soon, Brian, we will be soon. towering structures. I mean, from a writing point of view, we've kind of just revealed the last secret. This is kind of the Super 8 projector, right? Any buttons on there that we need to do things with now? So the green certainly is concentrated in this area. And it looks like this is a very neat effect, depending on... It is kind of 3D, what's happening on the other side there, or at least it's a 2D image that moves with our relation to it. I can see why the Russians would look at this and say, hey, that's not Earth, that must be the aliens' home planet. Don't know if I can see any moving pictures here. I like to see this time acceleration effect for myself. Also, I'd like to see the portal from the back. If we can do that. Can we? No, we can't see anything from the back. Good to know. Just thought we'll have a look, as the curious fellas among us would do, the scientifically minded people. It's just a big bug zapper. Do you think we should walk through? I mean, there's particles coming out and everything. Bill in front of the giant portal. That's a good screenshot. I say, I'm gonna have another coffee, contemplate. Do I want to go back? I mean, what's the future gonna be like? Sure, I'll be back, but will people remember me? What would you do? How would you do this? You go back through this portal in this super ancient spacesuit, and so you say, "Hi, I'm Bill Bradham. I've just been in the future on this Russian planet thing." Have you heard of that? The Russians discovered a portal? No? Okay, let me tell you the story then. Everyone would go, "Yeah, great, dude. This is, you know, we're not even going to listen. We don't even have streets anymore on which you can busk with a long beard and say, 'I'm telling you, I've been to the future.'" It's not how it works, is it? How would you do that? Everyone would be like, yeah, either, yeah, we know, or people would be like, "You're crazy." No one would say, "Really? That's interesting. There's a Russian planet, there's a portal? Really? You've been there with a spaceship, but the Russians, like ages ago, have discovered a portal in Siberia? That's exciting. Let's speak to them. Maybe we can..." It's not how it works, is it? That's a really crazy situation that you're going to find yourself in. Just like Zero Kelvin. I say let's walk through. This is a real spacesuit. Dude, that's great. Where'd you buy that? I was on a space mission. No one believes me.
You've kept your wife on life support. It sounds like you haven't been able to let her go.
Actually, I did it for her. I want to give her every chance to live again, even if I'm not here.
Almost like cryogenics without the cold, then. He might do. So this looks exactly like where we've just come from the other planet. I wonder if the second portal also gets you out in Siberia then? A little sketchy on the locations here. But, you know, over the border, here it is. I don't want to step too close to the edge, because one of the things that I thought I wish the game would have done is let us look at this moment, let us savor this moment for a little bit longer, because as soon as I step to the edge, the credits roll, and yeah, so we're gonna have to make sure we don't go that way. I didn't know the game was going to end here, but this is the end. This is effectively the end of the game. You're looking at Earth many years ahead in the future now. And we're back on Earth. We made it back. I don't know if we're ever going to find out if our wife is still alive, if they've got her out of the coma. If they have, she might be seriously old, or she might no longer be alive anymore. These are the textures of the future. What's Emerald City? What's the Emerald City? I don't think I know that. Yeah, so we can savor this moment a little bit longer. Just if you play this game, don't just walk and have a close look at the city. stay away, stay back a little bit. And enjoy the final moment of Lifeless Planet. Wow. Rich Douglas, that was the composer. Dave Bort, thank you so much. Bob Carter, Marina Kalmikova, Igor, somebody. Oh man, credits are too fast. You'll see the Patreon, the Kickstarter supporters in a moment. But that was it. Oh, that's where the wizard lives. Right. I didn't make that connection. Very cool. Wizard of Oz. Kickstarter funders. There we go. Very cool. The second game right now is the Kickstarter campaign for Lifeless Moon has already finished. But David is still accepting PayPal donations to fund the project. So even though the Kickstarter campaign as such is over, you can still support him for the next game, which is currently in development, Lifeless Moon, a prequel to this game as far as I understand. I'm very much looking forward to that. I might go pledge to get a free t-shirt as well. The Kickstarter campaign is still up, and you can pick the level and just give him that money on PayPal, and then he'll give you whatever rewards are mentioned on the Kickstarter campaign, which is a great idea. So there we go. Lifeless Planet. That was that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I played the whole thing through.
What will you miss most about Earth?
Yes, tell us, Bill.
Well, my wife first of all, and then Earth itself. All of it. She saw the beauty of this planet long before I did.
You truly loved her.
Of course. And if you lose someone you love, even 20 light years probably isn't enough distance to make you stop missing them.
True. I don't think distance actually has anything to do with it. Wow! We've reached the end! That was it! Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging in here. This was the 4th episode. I didn't know we were going to do this in 4 parts. That's nice, and it fit nicely into this time slot as well. This was nice. What an adventure, and I'm so glad I could live it with you. That's very nice. What a beautiful story. I can't wait for Lifeless Moon to come out. Release date isn't set yet, but yeah, it'll be a prequel to this, and I don't know if it's gonna tell us something about how the portal was first discovered. That's probably what I would do. About if I were to make a prequel to this game, I think I'd highlight how did humans come across this portal structure. Very nice. So for tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with another game, and I was thinking. It's kind of a choice. Let me know what you think, which one you'd like to play. I'm happy to start both of them. One is something called Super Hot. That's a game also made with Unity, and it plays where it's a kind of technically it's a first-person puzzle / shooter / adventure game. It's more like a puzzle. It's minimalistic graphics, so it's kind of polygon style graphics, first-person perspective, but the special thing about the game is that time isn't real time. Time only moves when you move as the character. So that means you see bullets flying extremely slow, and you can move in real time and move out of the way. And at that point, when you physically move, the time speeds up a little bit. So that's a funky game. That is a very cool game. I was thinking of playing that. Super Hot. I think I played the Stadia version. I never played the actual PC version, but I like the concept. Very interesting. It was developed during a kind of a hackathon to come up with new game ideas, and it's been out since 2016. Second installment of that has just come out. It's called Mind Control Delete, and it's kind of a weird thing, so it's just, it keeps in with the same atmosphere. So that's that game. That is Super Hot. Could do that. The second one I'm interested in is also a Unity game, and that is A Short Hike. I don't know how short A Short Hike is. That could be 2 episodes or so, but yes, it'll be one of the 2. Let me know if you have a preference, and I will surprise you tomorrow with which one we're going to play. We could literally leave it up to the last minute. But have a think about it. Either Super Hot or A Short Hike. Those are the options for tomorrow. Thank you for hanging in here, and I'm glad you liked it, Mom. I'm really glad you liked it. Oh, they're making you work. What a shame. So maybe then we'll play Super Hot, because that'll take a few days, quite a few days. Oh yeah, you gotta rewatch it, Mr. House. You gotta rewatch it. You gotta see the ending. This is seriously mind-blowing ending of time, space, and all that, and nicely wrapped up on the secondary storyline there as well. So tomorrow, Super Hot or a short hike. Join me for that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Take care, my friends. Bye bye.